homesteaders, gardeners, and cooks. Just a quick video here with some end of season produce. It's always kind and you blend it together with some olive oil and salt and pepper. And there are a variety of variations on this. This is actually a New York Times recipe that I'm using here today, which is a good one. But you can, sometimes they'll add breadcrumbs in order to thicken it up a little bit. I generally am not wanting something with additional carbs, and so that's not usually the way that I go. Here, I'm gonna turn this on just so that this gets smaller so I can get all the tomatoes in there. Oops, blip. Now we're there. It just took a minute to get the juice out of the tomatoes. I should have started with them on the bottom. And this is not going to be bright red because the tomatoes I'm using here are, what am I using? Virginia Sweets mostly, which is a variegated orange and yellow striped tomato. So there's our veg. I'm going to add in 1 clove of garlic. And I'm going light on the garlic here because it's raw. And I'm also using my rasp grater, which is going to make it taste stronger. So I kind of went fairly light there. I also went light on the onion just because I'm not a huge fan of raw onion flavor. Not so much because I don't like the taste, but because I tend to taste it for hours afterwards. I'm going to put in a tablespoon of sherry vinegar. It's actually surprisingly hard to find sherry vinegar. I have a few recipes that use it, and so I usually have a bottle on hand. And the last time I ran out, it took me forever to find more. I'm going to put in, it says just salt and pepper to taste. I have a note on the recipe. I'm going to put in 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. If you were using regular salt, you would probably cut that in half. All right, we'll give that one more mix. And I did peel and take the big seeds out of the cucumber when I made this, just because it was a bit of an oversized cucumber. And then we're adding 1/4 cup of olive oil. It actually calls for 1/2 cup, but that just seems kind of obscene. So I'm going to back off on that a little bit, which I tend to do on things like this. But we're essentially emulsifying that oil into the soup. Lastly, we're going to do some fresh cracked pepper. And this didn't, same thing, just salt and pepper, but I would probably do about 1/4 teaspoon. Is a good measurement, I think, on that. All right, we're gonna give it one more good blend for about a minute so that it's thoroughly combined. All right, let's give that a taste for seasoning. It's gonna be really airy right now because it's been super blended. I feel like that needs a touch more salt. I'm going to put another 1/4 teaspoon in. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon more of the sherry vinegar. It gave a range. It's going to depend on how acidic your tomatoes are. But you want it to be bright. All right, and here you go. Homemade, very quick gazpacho. It's lovely and creamy from all of that olive oil. And if you couldn't find sherry vinegar, I think balsamic would be a nice substitute. I love balsamic with tomatoes, so that would be my suggestion if you can't find sherry vinegar in your area. So most of what was in here was room temperature, and so this really needs to be chilled in order to taste at its optimum. But that is so good, you guys. Just delicious. So give this a try with your midsummer produce if you're swimming in it, or if it's at the end of the season, give it a try with what you've got left. It's easy and quick and really delicious. Thanks for watching, Tribe. We'll see you next time.